Hi, I'm Claire Louise and I'm a theatrical wardrobe mistress working in the West End of London. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my tips and tricks on how to get the best out of clothing repairs and alterations. There are two types of zips, either one with a plastic coil or, well, they're always plastic, like this one, which is a continuous piece of plastic, or they may have teeth. This one's got plastic teeth. Now, on a plastic teethed zip, I can't remove that stopper. And the way that I could fix this type of zip is as follows. Again, I'm going to open my zip and then I'm going to make a tiny little split just below that stopper. And this is going to allow me to get this slider off. And when I get to the slider, just let that split kind of open, and now my sliders come off. And then to repair the zip, I slide my slider back on and then either put a tiny spot of glue over where that split is, or you could do a couple of stitches. Sometimes I do both, and that's going to stop the slider coming back off again. And that's how you would adjust the slider on a teethed zip. This pair of jeans has a slight fault in the bottom of the zip, and I'd like to fix it without unpicking all of this fly, which is quite a time-consuming job. Now, one really quick way of fixing it, if the bottom teeth are just slightly askew, or if one of them's missing, I can just shorten my zip by creating a false stopper. And all I'm doing with that is I'm taking a needle and thread, I'm going to overstitch this is done quite roughly, but it's just to stop. And now my zip can only go down to where my overstitch is, and if the bottom bit is the faulty bit, that's a great quick way of repairing your zip. Now, if it's not that easy, sometimes you do need to replace the slider on a zip that's already in a garment. So to do that, we need to unpick enough of this area that we can expose the zip at the bottom. So with a quick unpick, you can see that I've taken all of those seams out, enough that I could take my zip and just access the bottom, because this time I'm going to take my zip slider off down to the bottom. Now, if we turn the zip inside out, we can see that there's a metal stopper, and we need to get that metal stopper off. So with our pliers, and again, if you can, try and keep this together. If not, if it breaks as you're taking it out, then just overstitch. And there's enough space for me to just get this zip slider off. And then you find an identical zip slider either by looking in a haberdasher's shop or by buying another zip that's the same. And this time I'm sliding the zip upwards. Now this is a little bit fiddly, so I slide the zip onto one side and then I have to take the tape and slide that in the other side. And what I need to make sure is that I line my teeth up so that when I do the zip up, the waistband isn't wonky. And you just slide that back on like that. And just tuck that little bit inside. And from the reverse, I'm going to reapply my stopper. So the stopper is just a little loop with prongs. I just want to get the prongs through either side of my teeth. And once I can feel both sets of prongs on the other side, I'm just going to take my pliers and just flatten those prongs. And again, if I can't reattach the original stopper, I would use an overstitch here just to stop the bottom of that zip. And now I just need to go back and replace the stitching in here that I unpicked to access my zip. And that's my zip, nice and repaired. And that's how you repair and replace zips.